what you're about to see is a debriefing session. In this case, I'm choosing to do the debriefing on video for a couple of reasons. This is a discussion that I might have had in class face-to-face, but there are a couple reasons why it's useful to record it. One is that I wasn't physically going to be there that day. So like any teacher who's going to be away, I'm preparing something so that my absence doesn't disrupt their ability to get on with their project. In this case, get the feedback, make sense of that feedback, and do a revision. But the other important reason, and the reason that I capture these routinely on video, is so that they can go back and watch the debriefing again. They're going to get an individual report, a set of feedback that is based on their peers' comments, and they have to decide what they're going to do with that feedback. I'm giving them here some perspective on what I see when I look at all of the class and how that matches up with the criteria that we've been talking about all semester that I want them to be focused on. They're then going to process that and turn it into a revision plan. They're going to say, okay, here's what they've told me to do, here's what I'm actually going to do, and here's how I think I'm going to make this website better. Good morning, everybody. As I talk to you today, it's Tuesday. It's actually just turned afternoon, about noon. And as you know, we have a week where we're not going to meet face-to-face, but I'm going to try to give you plenty to do as we prepare to head into our third and final phase of your portfolio. And we have an aircraft outside. I'm going to begin by reviewing just a little bit about what I see so far emerging as trends in the Phase 2 review. And the good news so far is that from the responses we have, they're relatively strong. That means that where the folks have uploaded their information and where the review responses have come in, about 60%, as you can see here, have come in so far. They're good and they're on target. You're using CSS to specify your layout, and your layout matches what's in your design comps. We're also seeing a high level of confidence that from the reviewers that what they see is actually going to produce what's in the comp, which is really nice to see. I'm really as interested in your ability to read that as I am your ability to produce it at this phase, because as we know, one helps the other tremendously. We're also starting to see some people emerge as really strong exemplars. Kendall's project, which is actually linked from her main page, is a really strong example according to you. I happen to agree with that, as is Michael. We're also seeing that some of you are thinking about stealing the CSS that you see, which is really good. The idea there is, are you seeing models that would be worthwhile following? And I think we are seeing some of those. Take advantage of that where people have linked their portfolio views on their project page and you see something you like. Take a look and learn from it. It doesn't mean that you're going to take it verbatim, obviously, but you can at least see how they've implemented a design that you find interesting. The other thing that I'm happy to see, and this is actually something that's improved over time, is that more of you are responding back to the reviews that you're getting. So as a writer, you can go in and you can rate the reviews that you get. I think this is really important over the long term in helping people give good feedback, is that you let them know that it's good. We still only have about 20%, 1 in 5 comments rated by writers, but the comments that have been rated are getting high ratings. So what that means is you're either ignoring the bad ones or you're not rating any of them. But we are seeing really good comments being given, and you have some specificity too. I really like it when the recommendation specifies exactly how to achieve the look that the writer is going for. That shows me that you know what you're doing. It also is maybe helping the writer in a way that helps them move along on their revision, which I'm very happy about. Okay, so please continue. If you haven't done your reviews yet, please do that. We still have some folks down here at the bottom who need to upload, so we're looking to get those things in the system. So now for the tough love part of the review. We're really starting to see a split between maybe 2/3 of the group that have managed to keep up and a few, roughly a third of folks who are a little behind. Now, I don't think this is an indicator that you can't do the work or that you're not learning at the same pace, but this is where, if you go all the way back to my first introductory video where I talked about practice being so important, you're really starting to see a difference now between who's putting the hours of practice in and who aren't. That's really the bottom line, and that will make a big difference in the split as we move along. The reason why I've anchored your grading in this course to the count of things, just the number of repetitions that you do. Have you done the reviews? That's your workshop grade, right? Have you done the modules? That's your module grade. Have you turned in all of the elements that you need to for each portfolio phase? All of these things are really about getting you to practice in a very deliberate way so that the things that we talk about and that you read about, you can get some hands-on work with. There's no other way to learn it. And that will ultimately be what determines your final grade. And it's what, if I were looking at your progress right now, that's what I have to go on. I'm not making a whole lot of subjective judgments in this class. I know that's unusual in some way. I'm not grading individual efforts, I'm counting them. So you know where you are as well as I do in that way. And we're running out of time, so now time becomes your key adversary. If you haven't put in the reps, you really are going to need to boot camp it for a couple of weeks to get caught back up. I'm happy to help you in any way I can. You can get other sources of support as well. The Writing Center is always a good choice. They have people in their digital consultations who can help you. And don't hesitate to make an appointment if you need some help. Okay? Great. All right, so let me walk you through what you ought to be doing between now and the rest of the end of this week to get ready. You already know about some of these things. There are 2 writing tasks, first of all, coming up in Eli. So I'm going to go to the course home and switch over now to a student view so that you can see a couple of new things that are on the list. The first thing that you're going to see is, or that might look new, I should say, is a revision plan for the portfolio detail view. So let's look at that. This is coming out of this review that we just did on the portfolio phase 2. I would like you to do a reflective statement that explains your takeaways from the portfolio phase 2 review. And as before, I'm interested in 2 things for this. I want to hear about your priorities for revising your portfolio. As we talked about, sometimes what you learn when you're looking at your style is that your structure needs to change because the styles are just not working well with that. You also maybe learn some things about your content. I want to hear what you're coming away with after doing this phase 2 review. I'm also interested in what you feel like you still need to know. So maybe the experience of putting together this comp and going after the style sheet in a particular way made you realize that there are some things that you're still not grasping very well. I want to hear about those as well. Put those in your revision plan and we'll try to cover them in class. I want to hear what your learning priorities are coming out of this. So revision priorities and learning priorities in that reflective statement that you're writing up as a revision plan for the phase 2 review. Okay? So that's one thing. The next thing is what we talked about in class on Thursday, and that is a portfolio detail view reflective statement. Now this is a piece of writing that goes in your detail view and describes one of the artifacts in your portfolio. We'll do a review of this when we come back next week. So it's due a week from today, a week from Tuesday. It's very short, it's like 2 paragraphs, and remember this is the thing that goes next to a portfolio artifact. So it does a little bit of descriptive work in helping to make the argument clear that the portfolio in general makes. So let me review that here. You're practicing linking a claim and evidence, where your claim is a statement about a proficiency, a skill, a type of knowledge, or value that you possess. And the artifacts in your portfolio, these bits and pieces of projects that you include in your portfolio, they're the evidence that you possess that proficiency, skill, knowledge, or value. The reflective statement is a small bit of text that explains what the artifact is and helps make the link between the proficiency and the evidence for that. Okay, so you want to make that really clear and not have the reader guess. This is what we built the review for, or we started anyway, in class on Tuesday. We'll come back to that after you've written this, and we'll talk about what you need to do to get really good feedback for that. Okay? So this should get you started. It's plenty enough to do to finish your reviews if you need to do that for the portfolio phase 2. To process the results of those reviews by doing a revision or reflection, a revision plan which causes you to reflect on them. And then go ahead and start drafting a reflective statement for your portfolio detail views. Obviously, this is going to be a prototype for all the reflective statements. Beyond Thursday, what you're going to need to do over the next 2 or 3 weeks is assemble all the content for your portfolio. This includes the artifacts that you'll put in there, and then you'll be writing lots of these reflective statements, one for each page that you have in your portfolio. So writing this first one, you're kind of writing the template for all of the ones that you'll be writing soon. So it's not bad to think about it that way. All right? And that's about it. Please feel free to shoot me any questions that you might have. I'll be checking in on email. I'll be away in Indianapolis for the week. I'll be back on Saturday. So I'll see you next week, and we'll get really into phase 3, which you're implementing the final design, but more importantly, you're really working now on making good quality content that speaks to your users. And that's going to be the main hurdle that we'll associate with phase 3. When you're done, though, you should have a really good representation of your work to build from. Okay? That's all I got for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you on the other side.